Alright, so I'm going to go through the trunk testing now. So we'll start with trunk extension. So I'm going to have my patient flip onto your belly. Good. And to start, you're going to have your hands down by your side. I'm going to put some resistance on the ankles, and so Zach, I'm going to have you lift your chest and head up towards the ceiling as high as you can. There you go. You try not to raise your head up though, so there you go, and come back down. So like you don't want to extend your neck.
No.
Yeah, so try that again. There you go. Good, and come back down. But the goal would be to have him have his belly button off the table, and that will be a 3. That would be a full range of motion. So then for 4 and 5, you would take your hands and bring them up to your head, back of your head. Good. Still providing counterweight at the ankles. He's going to lift up in the same way. Good. And come back down. Again, still looking for the belly button to come off the table. If he can do that and it looks really smooth, looks very easy, then it's a 5. If it looks labored, or if he, if he looks labored, or he kind of wavers at the top, like he comes up and kind of bobbles, then that's a 4. So those are your 4s and 5s. And I'll get to 2 and 1 after. So then thoracic, that was lumbar. So then thoracic, he would scooch forward. There you go. Keep going. So you're going to bring your chest to the edge of the table. So you're looking for the table to be at the nipple line. And you're going to relax there, Zach. So I'm going to provide counterweight at the ankles. Your hands are going to be behind your head. There you go. And you're going to lift up so that you're parallel to the floor. Good. And come back down. Perfect. And you can come back. You don't have to lay over there. So when he does that, if he does that well, with ease, and it doesn't look difficult, then that is a 5. If it looks labored, it looks like a struggle, then it's a 4. And his goal is to get his chest off the table, to get parallel to the floor. Let's see. So that's 2 and 1. So then he's going to take his hands and bring them down to the side. And from here, if he gets partial range of motion, so he's going to try to lift up again. And so try and lift your chest and head up off the table again. And this is partial range of motion, then he gets only 2. And if I'm providing counterweight over here and I just feel, go ahead and lift up, and I feel a contraction anywhere in the back, then that's going to be a 1. And a trace, if I didn't feel anything, then that's a 0. So that's lumbar extension or trunk extension. And then next would be pelvic elevator. Okay, so in this one I would have him on his back. But bring your legs towards me. I'm sorry, Zach. So flip around. There we go. So this is testing the quadratus lumborum. So I'm going to hold on to his foot. I'm going to tell you, and try and lift it off the table. For grade 3, I'm just going to have him, okay, so hike your hip up towards your rib cage. There you go. And then I'm going to watch for him compensating with his lateral flexors, so he shouldn't be flexing to the side, which he's not, and relax. Good. Now I'm going to pull, and I guess it says in the book you can give them pretty good resistance for this because it's very strong, but so I'm going to pull, and you're going to hike up. Good. So if he can do that easily with maximal resistance, then that's a 5. If he can take a moderate amount of resistance, or like, I mean, in the book it says it's pretty strong resistance even still for grade 4, then that's, a 4. But it says it takes a lot of practice to get to the point where you can tell that one apart. And that's all for that one. You're just watching out for lateral flexors, I believe, for compensation with lateral flexors. So that's your pelvic elevator, and you would do both sides. So I would do the same thing on the other leg, bilaterally. And then trunk flexor test. So for this one, you're going to be laying on your back, Zach. So go ahead and lay on your back. Flip around so that I can get to your... There we go. Then people can see you. So for the flexor test, you are going to be... So for this one, a grade 3, you're going to have your arms by your side and just reach down towards your toes. So you're going to try and flex up. So lean forward, there you go, as far as you can. Good, and just come back down. So you're just looking for the scapula to come off the table. So then a 5 for this one, you'd have hands behind the back of the head. And a grade 5, go ahead and lift up, curl, and you're just feeling for the scapula to come up, and then that's good. Come back down. Good. Grade 4, you're going to have the arms across the chest, and you're going to come up. Same thing. Curl up. Good. And come back down. You're just feeling for the scapula to come off the table, and that would be a 4. And then a grade 2 would... 3 was with your arms by your sides. Yeah, that was your grade 3. And then, let's see, grade 2 is going to be where I would help him. So the sequence, you would start if you'd ask him to pick up his head. So go ahead and try and pick up your head for me.
Arms like this.
Oh, sorry, arms are by your side. My bad. So pick up your head. Good. And then if he couldn't pick up, so that would be a 2 if he could pick up his head. If he couldn't pick up his head, so relax your head on my arm. If he couldn't pick up his head, then I would ask him to just lean forward while I support his head. Go ahead and lean forward. But don't, relax your head and lean forward. Good. And if I can see his, relax. If I can see his stomach, like his rib cage depressing, then that is still a grade 2. And then if he can't do that, but he can cough, so if he can't do those other 2 things, but he can cough, so go ahead and cough for me, then that would be a grade 2 as well. And you would palpate the belly to make sure, like, if you didn't think there was a contraction. But if they can cough, there's a contraction there. If they can cough at all. And then a 0 would be nothing. They wouldn't be able to do any of this. So that one, I think for that one I have a question. That sequence is a little bit confusing. It'd be nice to go over that in our discussion when we get there, if we could. So then let's do... Oh, the last one is the rotator test. Okay. So this one, you're going to start... No, grade 3. Okay, so you're going to start with this hand. You're going to reach this hand towards your knee. So you're going to come up, bring your chest off the bed and reach for your knee. There you go. And come back down. Good. Try not to use your neck, so keep your chin up. Go ahead and do it again. Chin up. Good. And come back down. Perfect. So, and then you do it the other side. So, chin up. Yes. And come back down. And you're just looking for the scapula to come off the table. And grade 5, you would bring, so that was a grade 3, if you can do that successfully. Grade 3, 5, grade 5, your hands behind your head. There you go. And now you're going to bring this elbow towards the opposite knee. And you can curl up. Yes. And you want to feel for the shoulder blade coming up. Good. And same thing with that elbow to that knee. Good. And then grade 4. So if you could do both of those successfully, that's a grade 5 with the shoulder blades coming up. Grade 4, cross your arms across your chest. And you're going to go opposite elbow to opposite knee. Good. Come back down. Same thing, opposite elbow, opposite knee. Good. And that's your grade 4. And a grade 2. Why am I forgetting this? Hang on. Grade 2. Sorry. Trunk rotation. Oh, it's just partial range of motion. So, arms by your sides. That's true. Oh, I don't know why I forgot that. So, arms by your side. And you're going to try and reach. If the scapula can't come off the table, go ahead and try and reach for that side. If the scapula don't make it off the table, that's a 2, so that's partial range of motion. And you would be feeling for the different obliques here. So when he's reaching for that, go ahead and try and reach again. So this side would be your external obliques, and this side would be your internal obliques. So you'd be palpating external here, internal here, and then if he switches, external here, internal here, and you just be palpating those. And if you don't feel anything, or if you feel a trace, then that's a 1. If you feel nothing, then it's a 0. And that should be all of the tests. And I'll type out, when I send this through, I'll type out any questions that I have, I think, because I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but I'll type some out. Thanks.